Tonight at 5, Sauk County officials share an update as the search for a missing teen continues in Devils Lake State Park.
Plus, how rising temperatures across southern Wisconsin are impacting local farmers and their crops.
And we'll take a look at how communities around the state are commemorating Juneteenth, marking the day the last slaves in the U.S. learned of their emancipation. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. A 19-year-old Amish woman is dead and her older brother is seriously injured after a semi-truck hit their buggy early this morning.
It happened around 3 o'clock this morning west of Darlington. Our Kyle Pozorski has the details from Lafayette County.
Behind me here is Highway 81, where a crash occurred early Monday morning. 2 Amish were on board a buggy when a semi hit them. Now, one Amish, a woman, is dead and another is seriously injured.
I wouldn't say they're uncommon, unfortunately.
Lafayette County Sheriff Reg Gill's deputies were some of the first on scene of the tragic Monday morning incident.
Our dispatch center was called about a semi versus buggy crash that occurred out on State Highway 81, just a couple miles west of Darlington.
Gill explains that a horse was pulling an open-top Amish buggy when the semi hit them from behind. The centuries-old transportation is a common sight in the rolling hills of southern Wisconsin.
We do have a very large Amish community here in Lafayette County, and we do from time to time see these crashes.
The horse pulling the buggy died as a result of the crash. The driver of the semi was uninjured.
We see buggy traffic almost any time of day.
Gill continued that an initial investigation found the Amish siblings were traveling back from a get-together at the time of the crash.
This particular evening, there was a gathering up towards Platteville, Wisconsin, and these young people were traveling back home at that time. They have gatherings for the younger people and gathering for the elders and families, which usually ends sooner, and then these particular ones go a little later.
In Wisconsin, all horse-drawn vehicles are required by law to have 4 rear-facing red and amber lights, as well as a slow-moving vehicle triangle. In Darlington, Kyle Pozorski, News 3 Now.
Investigators do believe the buggy was equipped with lights, but they're unaware if they were on or functioning at the time of the crash. Let's get a first check on the weather now. Julian Seawright is on the toasty weather patio this afternoon. Hi, Julian.
Hey, guys, and that's right. It is a toasty start to our work week as we're into another pattern of dry and warm weather, which could be bringing in some air quality issues once again for us. We have an air quality advisory in effect for all of southern Wisconsin due to ozone until 11 p.m. for tonight. And, folks, we are looking for a rehash of some haze starting to roll its way in by the time we get into our Tuesday. So we could start to see our hazy skies once again for us going into the second day of the work week. Otherwise, it's been a quiet yet toasty one for us. Thankfully, not a lot of humidity, so it's a nice dry heat for us here in southern Wisconsin. Right now, Madison is 86 degrees, but we're going to hold on to those 80s until about 9 o'clock as skies are going to be relatively clear and temperatures will start to fall to more comfortable conditions. There's a few areas that are already into the 90s, and that will be for our friends in Janesville at 90 degrees, 86 for Platteville, a bit cooler towards Milwaukee as they're around 81 degrees, but we can see for the Dells and even Lone Rock also 90 degrees. Around the rest of Dane County, Sauk City is at 91 and 88 degrees for our friends in Middleton. So it's quite a warm and even hot one for us as we get into the rest of our Monday evening. But tonight, we will start to see some more comfortable conditions. Upper 50s for us here in Madison and for Janesville, and around 61 degrees for Platteville. Tomorrow, we're expecting more of the same. Some areas could reach into the 90s once again. So make sure that you're finding ways to stay cool and also stay hydrated if you're going to be outside. We'll talk more about what other changes we have for this work week in a few moments. Until then, over to you.
All right, Julian, thank you. Right now, the Department of Corrections is searching for a man who was reported missing from Thompson Correctional Center in Deerfield. Officials say in 2011, 34-year-old Thaddeus Bell pleaded no contest to armed robbery charges and was sentenced to 12 years in prison and 5 years extended supervision. Bell was at the center where men classified as minimum custody are allowed to leave the facility to work in the community. He was reported missing yesterday. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to call police.
The search continues for a 13-year-old boy in Sauk County who's been missing for over a week now. On Friday, investigators told News 3 Now they believe James Yablonsky is still alive and may be trying to evade the police. They also learned the teen had spoken to friends in the past about living off the grid, asking them how long they think he could survive in the woods by himself. Because of this, authorities are scaling back and switching to a more targeted search in Devil's Lake State Park. Today, in a statement, Sauk County Sheriff Lieutenant Steve Scrim said that they still have crews out searching, and they believe Yablonsky may have even more resources than they initially thought, including food. If you spot Yablonsky or anything that may be connected to him, call the police right away. Wisconsin's top election official remains under fire, which comes as her term is set to expire by the end of the month.
Political reporter Will Keneally is here now with more on the future of the state's elections agency. Will?
Well, here in Wisconsin, we have one of the most decentralized election processes in the country. The person who actually administers your local election is your town clerk. But all the security and statewide planning, that's handled by the Wisconsin Elections Commission. And the agency's administrator could be on the chopping block.
I'm doubtful that she would get to 17 votes in our caucus.
That's Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu over the weekend, throwing cold water on the prospect of Wisconsin Elections Commission Administrator Megan Wolf getting approved for another term to lead the agency. Her term expires at the end of this month, and it would be up to the 6-person bipartisan State Elections Commission whether to renominate her or not. But she would face confirmation in the state Senate if the commission decides to re-up her. In a letter Wolf wrote last week, she asked the commission to put someone in place that would ensure stability for the agency. She also asked clerks not to come to her defense and instead focus on educating their communities on the safety of the election process. When reporters asked the Senate leader why she should not be reconfirmed,
Her mismanagement of the 2020 election.
that was a similar fate faced by the agency's former head, Mike Haas, who was rejected by the state Senate in 2018. We also learned this weekend plans by the Republican leaders to reduce the number of income tax brackets in Wisconsin. They want to knock down the state's current 4 brackets.
Condensed brackets, reduced brackets, but we'll work it out.
That's right. I think our goal is we're going to meet Monday. I think the Finance Committee is going to go in hopefully this week to be able to have that. But the one thing that unites Republicans is the idea that government has too much money, and I think that's one thing to end on.
Assembly Speaker Robin Vos there saying that Wisconsin can meet its funding priorities and still reduce taxes. Now, this comes as the legislature is currently debating the state budget ahead of the June 30 fiscal year deadline.
Will, thank you. Today we are celebrating Juneteenth, the federal holiday recognizing the emancipation of the last African-American slaves in 1865. The federal government made Juneteenth a federal holiday 2 years ago, but Wisconsin has a deeper history. Celebrations date back to 1990 in Madison and 1971 in Milwaukee.
Past Friday, Governor Evers raised the flag. And so those are steps in the right direction for recognizing this as an American holiday, not just an African-American holiday.
Urban League President Ruben Anthony says that with this holiday comes the recognition that African-American history is American history. Anthony also says that though these continued celebrations show progress in our community, there is still more to be done.
In Madison, Juneteenth celebrations kicked off over the weekend. Saturday, communities gathered at Penn Park on the city's south side to commemorate the holiday. The event also featured community organizations, music and performances, and of course, good food. Madison's Juneteenth celebration was founded by Ann Weatherby Flowers 33 years ago. She says she's proud to have created something to be enjoyed by generations to come. Celebrations also taking place in Milwaukee today. The city held its annual Juneteenth parade this morning. Milwaukee's home to one of the largest Juneteenth celebrations in the country.
An important document in American history will soon be on permanent display for all to see. The National Archives intends to place the Emancipation Proclamation, signed by President Abraham Lincoln, inside its rotunda. It will be placed alongside the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights. The 1863 historic proclamation changed the legal status of more than 3.5 million enslaved people in Confederate states from enslaved to free.
This is a big deal. The Charters of Freedom have been the way they are since the 1950s, and we think it's very important that we continue to tell the American story with the Emancipation Proclamation.
It's going to take a couple of years to build the casing and environment to properly preserve the document, but the goal is to have it completed for the 250th anniversary of the United States in 2026.
A federal judge has ordered former President Trump and his co-defendant Walt Natu to keep quiet about evidence given to the defense in the classified documents case. Last week, Trump pleaded not guilty to 37 counts. Prosecutors say he mishandled top secret documents after he left office and obstructed an investigation into the documents. Special counsel Jack Smith asked the judge to prevent Trump and Nata from disclosing material presented in the discovery phase of the trial. The judge specifically prohibited sharing discovery materials with the public, the media, or online without approval of the court. A new recall to warn you about. Johnsonville is recalling more than 42,000 pounds of its Betta with cheddar sausages. Betta with cheddar?
Better.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture says the ready-to-eat pork links may be contaminated with thin black strands of plastic. There have been no reports of illness or injury. Johnsonville says the USDA believes the fibers pose a low risk of adverse health effects. If consumed, the recall includes 14-ounce packages of Betta with cheddar smoked sausage links produced on January 26, 2023. Consumers who have the affected products should throw them away or return it. Well, coming up, the DNR has a message to anglers as temperatures rise across southern Wisconsin.
Plus, we'll see how the heat is impacting local farmers. We'll have those stories after the break. And later, why several states are working to ban foreign adversaries from buying farmland in the U.S. We'll have details on that at 6.
No stock numbers to report today. The market's closed because of the Juneteenth holiday. We'll be right back.
It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way.
All you have to do is point.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Lean back and enjoy the summer savings at the Century House. Right now, get a $100 instant rebate for every $1,000 you spend on any qualifying stressless seating. The more you spend, the more you can save instantly. So furnish an entire room with the most comfortable seating in the world and watch the savings add up. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
Are you sure about this?
I got this. I watched the video online.
I'm good. I can't help you with that bruised ego, but I can help you replace this roof safely.
Let the experts at Feldco do the heavy lifting this summer with 30% off roofing and siding. Plus, no interest until 2025.
30% off roofing and siding ends soon. Hurry. Call now.
Call 866 for Feldco.
At Honda, we offer complimentary maintenance for 2 years or 24,000 miles. Just enjoy the ride, knowing we cover routine items like oil changes, tire rotations, and multi-point inspections. Honda Service Pass, available to purchasers of all 2023 Honda vehicles. Get yours today.
So, all of us are here to talk about trading. Right now at US Cellular, you can get a new phone without having to trade in your old one.
Trade you my PB&J for that phone.
No, kid, you don't have to trade. See, $1,200 off any phone at US Cellular. No trade-in needed.
You drive a hard bargain. Boom. Chocolate milk.
You don't have to trade.
I'll take the chocolate milk.
Okay.
Get $1,200 off any phone. No trade-in needed. US Cellular, built for us.
It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way.
All you have to do is point.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather. Trust the experience of Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti and the First Warn Weather team to help you plan your day and alert you whenever and wherever you need it. First Warn Weather, keeping you ahead of the storms. News 3 Now's Call for Action team gets results.
We're taking action for you.
Nearly 700 cases closed, more than $500,000 recovered, and we're not finished yet. When you need help, call for action only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. Right now, southern Wisconsin is in a short-term drought. If rainfall doesn't come, that could create issues for some of our state's crops like corn and soybeans.
Our Catherine Merck explains just how concerned local farmers are at this point. Catherine?
Susan and Mark, right now it's dry and it's hazy and it's hot in our area. And that combination is what a contrast is to what it's been earlier this year. Take a look at some of the sky-free footage we got today. Wisconsin experienced the wettest winter on record before rolling into the 4th driest May on record. What is good for corn and soy crops, according to the experts, is the time of year this drought is happening. The UW Extension experts say those wet conditions we had earlier this year will help out these crops during this dry time.
The best time to have a drought is right now. You know, planting's done. The seeds pretty much, they need to get some water in them to germinate, and it needs, you know, not a small amount of water. We need good soil moisture. But once they're small and growing, they don't need a ton of water.
Farmers will still need rain in the next couple of weeks to make up for these dry conditions that we've experienced in May. But heading into some of the future forecasts here, things are looking to be a little bit more humid, which the experts tell me will be beneficial to these crops as more moisture in the air will help out.
We'll continue to follow it. This is going to be a very big story. Catherine, thank you. Farmers aren't the only ones who are feeling the heat. The DNR is asking communities and anglers to keep an eye on local waterways. Officials say water temperatures are heating up, causing more fish to die off. Many other factors can contribute to an increase in fish deaths, including pathogens like bacteria, viruses, funguses, and parasites, or environmental issues like low dissolved oxygen levels and thermal stress.
You encounter 1 or 2 dead fish here and there, or, you know, fish that might be dying, 1 or 2 really isn't cause for concern. But when that number extends into several dozen or even hundreds or even thousands, that's when we need to know about it, because that could be a big cue that something widespread and serious is going on.
If you spot dead fish in your waterways, report them to the DNR tip line. The number is on your screen, 1-800-847-9367.
President Joe Biden is in California today to announce new federal funding for climate-resilient projects. The trip comes as millions of people across the Southeast face the threat of severe storms, and millions more in the South remain under heat alerts. Mike Valguero has the story.
Oh my God. As parts of the country grapple with another round of severe storms.
And all of a sudden the tornado formed and it just dropped on us.
And life-threatening heat.
Definitely staying hydrated because it's like really hot.
President Joe Biden heads to California to announce his administration's latest efforts to deal with the climate crisis. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is launching a $575 million project aimed at helping coastal and Great Lakes communities become more resilient to extreme weather, protecting them from storm surge, flooding, and rising sea levels. The move comes at a critical time for homeowners in those areas. Extreme weather is one factor driving up insurance rates, and 2 major insurance companies recently stopped accepting new applications altogether in California.
Unfortunately, the law is the insurance companies have the right, as long as they give you 75 days notice, when your policy comes up for renewal, they can tell you, we're not going to issue you a new policy.
In Los Angeles, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
The weather making news. Let's get a look at our first warn forecast. Here's Julian Seawright.
That's right, because we're still seeing unseasonably warm temperatures, and on top of it, it has still been rather dry. So getting into our weather headlines for the rest of this week, well, it's going to be more or less the same as what we had last week. And that's a trend of dry weather, temperatures inching close to the 90-degree mark. On top of it, we're just not having a whole lot of opportunity to see much in terms of humidity or even moisture that will bring in some showers or storms, at least until we get into this weekend, when we do have a possibility of seeing some showers or thunderstorms for late Saturday nights and getting into our Sunday. But until then, folks, it is going to be a dry and warm trend that we're going to be dealing with for us here over the next couple of days. And outside of it, we have air quality advisories still in effect until 11 p.m. for all of southern Wisconsin due to the ozone. Now, outside of that, we're also looking for hazy skies to return as we get into our Tuesday. We're looking for the smoky conditions to start to roll their way back into Wisconsin as it starts to flood its way over towards the southern Wisconsin area as we get into our Tuesday. So that's one thing to be mindful of. And on top of it, we're still dealing with this high pressure over into the Great Lakes, which has just kept us so dry for so long, bounding off any kind of weather pattern to bring in any kind of rain or even moisture for much of the Midwest. So we're looking at hot, warm and dry conditions that's really just been impacting us over the last couple of days. Outside of a couple of showers for some areas, mainly northern Wisconsin, we haven't really been seeing much, which is why we're in a moderate drought from our last drought monitor of last week, and that's probably going to get even worse as we get into the later parts of this week. And here's why. Since June 1st, we haven't even had an inch of rainfall for us here in southern Wisconsin, specifically for Madison. Normally around this time of year, we're already about 3 inches in the month of June. So our deficit is a little over 2 inches so far. But not a lot of rain opportunities for us over the next several days. We're even closing out in June. We do have some, but still, we're forecasting for us to not get a whole lot for us here in southern Wisconsin to really improve those dry conditions. So taking a look at our future track over the next several hours and even for the couple of days, expect it to be clear, at least it's going to be comfortable overnight. Temperatures will fall into the lower 60s, upper 50s, and then as we get into Tuesday afternoon, it's going to be very warm already, lower 80s throughout much of southern Wisconsin. Now, the easterly winds are going to keep things not from being too hot, but some areas could inch close to the 90-degree mark as we get into our Tuesday evening. Otherwise, we're looking for, again, another quiet and dry pattern as we head in throughout the rest of the next couple of days. With the ridging action, we're going to be seeing those temperatures sticking around into the unseasonable mark of near 90 degrees, because typically around this time of year, we're around 80 degrees for us here in Madison. So looking at our first warm 10-day forecast, we're going to be inching closer and closer to 90 degrees. But again, this weekend, we do have our best opportunity to see any kind of rain or thunderstorms, especially as we head into our Monday. Now, a quick look at our first warn traffic. We do have an accident on the Beltline eastbound as of right now, which has slowed traffic pretty significantly. So if you're going to be hitting the road, especially if you're going to be traveling eastbound, do expect some delays in your commute as we get into the rest of today. That'll be for our weather and traffic. I'm going to send it over to you.
All right, Julian, thank you. The Urban League of Greater Madison is getting a boost for advancing digital literacy in the workplace, thanks to Spectrum's Digital Education Grant. The grant is part of Spectrum's 6-year, $8 million commitment to promote digital education and broadband technology in communities across the country. It was given during the Affordable Connectivity Program Call to Action Week. The ACP is an FCC program to make quality, high-speed internet service available at a low cost to eligible families in financial need.
During COVID, we saw firsthand that if you did not have access to internet or you did not have access to technology, you were excluded from a lot of things. So today gives us an opportunity to close that digital divide, and we're glad to be doing it with partners like Spectrum.
This grant is the third Spectrum Digital Education Grant in 5 years for the Urban League of Madison, bringing total Spectrum support for the organization to $90,000. Next at 5, how a unique vending machine is helping communities in need. We'll have that story when we come back.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Get organized with 11% off everything at Menards. Keep your home neat and reduce clutter with help from Dakota. Whether you need extra storage or want to add an accent to your living space, we carry the shelving and closet systems for you. Get Dakota shelving in a variety of finishes to match your style, or maximize your space with customizable Dakota closets. Get this white closet system for just $198.97 after 11% off at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Don't wait until the weekend to enjoy a thick charbroiled steak made to your liking. Make a weeknight steak night at High Point Steakhouse, Southern Wisconsin's premier supper club. Well worth the short drive to Ridgeway.
At Lawton Cates, we provide compassion and guidance after a serious accident. From the first phone call, we're by your side. We know how much is at stake, and we're dedicated to ensuring you can heal and move forward. Your life counts. Lawton Cates.
The Chevy RS family of SUVs has it all. Whether you want the 10.2-inch diagonal color touchscreen on the Chevy Blazer, or extra peace of mind with Chevy Safety Assist standard on the 2023 Chevy family of SUVs. So take your pick. The choice is yours. Spring into adventure and get 1.9% financing on select popular Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial. Plus, make no monthly payments for 90 days. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Do you suffer with pain, numbness, and tingling in the hands or feet, commonly diagnosed as peripheral neuropathy? Are you taking drugs such as Lyrica or gabapentin that have serious side effects and often do not relieve your symptoms? Your doctor has told you you may just have to live with the pain. Peripheral neuropathy is a result of damage to the nerves, often causing burning, weakness, pain, numbness, tingling, and the most debilitating balance problems. Our facility uses multiple therapeutic methods to help give you relief from neuropathy symptoms with no injections and no drugs. You may start seeing relief after only a few sessions. To determine if your neuropathy symptoms can be relieved, we will do a consultation to evaluate the extent of your condition. Call us today to schedule your neuropathy consultation to find out if you're a candidate for our therapy. Call today.
A unique blend of jazz and rock vocal music that has been celebrated by generations. It's Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Performing live Friday, July 7th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Tickets for Blood, Sweat, and Tears are on sale now through Ticketmaster. A renaissance of unbridled talent. It's Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Friday, July 7th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. Health advocates hope that a new type of vending machine will save lives.
Bradley Blackburn shows us how it's helping neighborhoods in need.
This vending machine in New York City is in the business of providing products that could be life-saving.
As you see, we have masks, we have wound care, we have Narcan kits, we have xylazine and fentanyl test strips, and feminine hygiene and regular old hygiene kits because the community said that that was something they wanted.
It's the first public health vending machine from the city's Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. The goal is to reduce stigma and increase access as the city looks for new ways to lower overdose deaths.
We all know people who would be alive today if a machine like this had existed, that whether we're working with someone who winds up dying of an infection because they couldn't access free wound care, to someone who overdoses because they couldn't get free, easy access to Narcan.
Services for the Underserved says 100 kits of Narcan, the drug used to reverse an opioid overdose, were distributed in the first week. The supplies are free and restocked daily. The hope that this vending machine will encourage people to seek the services and medical care they need. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And similar machines in other parts of the U.S. and other countries have already shown success.
We'll get a final check on your First Warn forecast when we come back.
Looking to bring life to your Wisconsin Dells getaway? Bring your family, bring your friends, bring an extra suit, and bring on the water parks. It's time to bring out your best. Your best driving, your best sliding. Hey, your best friend just passed you up. Ready to play? Bring your A game. Ready to eat? Bring your appetite. Ready to bring it to the next level? Let's bring it all together. Summer in Wisconsin Dells. Bring it on. Go to WISC-TV.com and start planning your trip to the water park capital of the world today.
I have moderate to severe Crohn's disease. Now there's Skyrizi.
I've got symptom relief. Control of my Crohn's means everything to me. Control is everything to me.
Feel significant symptom relief with Skyrizi, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Skyrizi is the first and only IL-23 inhibitor for Crohn's that can deliver both clinical remission and endoscopic improvement. The majority of people on Skyrizi achieve long-lasting remission at 1 year.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to. Liver problems may occur in Crohn's disease.
Ask your gastroenterologist how you can take control of your Crohn's with Skyrizi. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Attention, Wisconsin veterans.
I'm Tony Evers, the governor of Wisconsin. If you are a veteran struggling to pay for rent, utilities, or other life-sustaining services, I want you to know that the Veterans Rental Assistance Program is here to help. So call 833-WISC-VRAP or visit vrapwi.com. You've always been there for us. We want you to know that we're here for you.
This 4th, we're throwing a 4 for the 4th celebration with lots of top-rated 4s to shop, like 4 of my best-selling dining sets. Get my expandable Blake set, just $5.99. Impress your guests with my brand-new Alexis trestle set, just $7.99. Go farmhouse fabulous with my Montana set, just $9.99. Store more with the natural beauty of Sonoma, just $12.99. With financing options to fit your budget. You guessed it, 4 plans to choose from. Join the 4 for the 4th celebration at Bob's. It's gonna be lit.
Fry Construction is celebrating 28 years with a big anniversary sale. Join us to save 28%. That's right, 28%. Many of your neighbors already know how we strive to meet and exceed expectations with each and every project. That's why they voted us Best Roofer 3 years in a row. Experience the best of Madison for yourself with Fry Construction. Act now for 28% off gutters or insulation with any full roofing project. Schedule your free consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, a program that's hitting all the right notes, mentoring music students in hopes of creating a more harmonious future. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Here's Julian now. One final check of the weather. If you can be in a nice, cool place with a drink and a water, you'd be fine, but not in a suit.
Yep, not in a suit. Unfortunately, we're a little overdressed for this kind of weather, but hey, this is TV. So we're looking at temperatures to stay near 90 degrees throughout much of this week. Plenty of sunshine. Our best hope for any changes will come late this weekend. Hopefully, it will be just enough for what we need.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night. Hope to see you back here at 6.